So today's Girl Talk video is going to be all about self-love. I'm going to give you guys my personal experience and I'm going to give you some encouragement and advice. What's up, beautiful ladies? Welcome back to The Cleanup. I am LaTrenda and I help inspire young women to live a clean life mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually so you can build today so tomorrow you can become the woman that you aspire to be. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell so you never miss a video from me. And if you just did that, then it's official. Welcome to the Cleanup family. I'm now your big sis. Alright, so I wanted to do some girl talk today involving self-love. I think it's so important to have these types of conversations so you can kind of see, you're not alone. I empathize, I sympathize, and when I make these videos, it's not just something I'm pulling out of nowhere. These are actual experiences that I've had that I want to share how I was able to overcome them. So I want to be able to do that by telling my personal story, but I know my personality is very laid back. I can be very monotone sometimes in the way I speak, and it can come off as boring. So before you click off the video, what I did was I created a visual for y'all so you can kind of see, like, okay, yeah, this is some of the stuff she's been through, and you can kind of like, hopefully it can touch your heart a little bit more deeper than sitting here watching me talk for 10 minutes. So take a look. Hi. My name is LaTrenda, and I confess I had a toxic obsession with my looks, and I lacked self-love. Here's my story. As a young woman, I felt pressure to look perfect. I found myself so affected by society's standards that I was willing to alter my natural self just to fit in. My thoughts and my mind were flooded with how to make my body better and quote-unquote more perfect. As I begin to think about my obsessive actions in the past, I literally feel butterflies in my stomach. The battles I faced while obsessing over my looks, they were different from my issues with depression and anxiety. See, my fight with depression and anxiety left me feeling numb and it put me in a dark place. But this right here, this was a different type of pain. I felt like some sort of addict. I was well aware of my actions, however, I was still willing to embark on a harmful path. Oddly enough, Google was my best friend. I would Google everything and spend hours researching any topic I could. For example, I would type in anything from why isn't my belly flat to how to get perfect abs, or I would type in how to get a flat stomach but grow a bigger butt and thicker hips at the same time. I would even Google topics like how to fix knock knees and get wider hips. And if I didn't feel skinny enough, I would at times even research how to lose 10 pounds in less than a week. Crazy, right? I found myself constantly Googling pictures of women I wanted to look like. I tell you no lie when I say I literally searched, studied, and obsessed over these women. I would search for countless pictures of these women, their workout routines, and what they ate to look the way that they did. I would spend hours in the mirror, literally checking every imperfect part of my body, thinking of ways to make it better. There were moments when I would cry with disappointment because I didn't look like the girls that I saw around me on television and even on the internet. I wanted so badly to look like them. And in turn, I was all over the place. Depending on what was popular at the time, I was either looking for ways to get super skinny or looking for ways to get super thick. I found myself constantly comparing myself with my sister's body. In my eyes, she had the perfect shape and feature. She had it all. She was perfect. She had the perfect eyes, big, beautiful lips, full eyebrows. She was the perfect height. She was slender. She had a tiny waist. She even had beautiful curvy hips. If you could name it, she had it. It didn't matter if she was small or if she gained a few pounds. In my eyes, she was always winning. And listen, I'm positive I ignored her and my friends. Why? Because I was obsessed with putting myself down for not feeling like I looked good enough. I constantly played the victim if I wasn't least bit of secure with myself at any moment. Eventually, I found myself seeking ways to look sexy. I wanted to be appealing. All of my friends, they had the sexy appeal. I was so tired of being the cute one. Eventually, I would find myself practicing how to walk sexier and not so frumpy. I would practice how to dance a little bit more sensual and not so basic. I would practice how to arch my back just so I could accentuate my body and seem sexy. In my mind, sexy equaled confidence. All I wanted was to be confident. Sadly though, I was investing my time and energy into the wrong things. I thought I was making myself better. Instead, I was making matters worse for myself. See, I knew I was blessed with other God-given abilities, but I felt miserably to use those gifts. It wasn't until I was in my late 20s that I was able to see clearly. Honestly, it was all a lesson, a well-learned lesson that I hope to pass on to you beautiful, amazing, talented young ladies. Please, I beg you to stop obsessing over your appearance. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look nice and to be presentable or even to love fashion and style. I get it. It's a part of your arts and talent. But please don't let it consume you to the point that you feel you have no self-worth or relevance without these things. We all have God-given gifts. And even if we were stripped down to nothing, they would still shine brightly for the world to see. I beg you, please learn how to love yourself as the masterpiece you were created to be. Now let's have girl talk. So did you like it? Let me know in the comment section below if you like me doing a type of video like that and a girl talk video like this, or if you would prefer me to just kind of tell my story. But what I'm going to do is kind of explain some of that stuff in the video that I made so you kind of can get more of an inside scoop of what it was like for me. So last week on my Instagram, I made a post about self-love, and here it is. And I made mention that I had no idea that self-love had a negative tone to it. If somebody put your name with self-love back in the day, it basically meant like you were self-centered, you were conceited. But nowadays, it is so important, I believe personally, to start to develop the trait of self-love. Social media basically puts us in a place where we're editing stuff, we're filtering stuff, we're cutting out stuff, which, you know, it's nothing wrong with that. Duh, I'm editing this video right now. But I think the problem is that we have become fixated in doing that, and we have relied on that so much, and we put so much of our time and effort in doing that, that we don't really show who we really are. Like, people don't really get to see the real us. So what happens is we have gotten so caught up in that, and it has consumed our time so much that we no longer have time to work on who we are. We don't read anymore. Everything is video. We don't really try to develop and self-help. Like, we're focused so much on the facade that we don't even know how to really love ourselves. We know how to fake it till we make it. But with that society pressure comes this, with the societal and peer pressure comes this idea that we have to be these perfect beings and these perfect people. And like I showed you guys in the video, I was constantly looking for ways to like change my body so I can fit the beauty standard. And I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. Don't judge me. And I'm gonna tell y'all, if y'all are doing this and you do not love yourself, please stop until you know that you are completely in love with who you are. Let it be a preference, not a necessity. But I used to rub fish oil on my butt so my butt could be bigger. Yep, I did it. I know. And I used to think about, okay, I don't like my stomach, so when I get some money, I'll have a Brazilian butt lift because I don't have a butt. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If that's what you do and it floats your boat, then do that. But don't let it be because you feel like you are not pretty or beautiful without it. But that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about when I say, like, we are in this societal pressure to just be perfect, that we don't know how to love who we are. And I used to just spend so much time like just Googling like things that I could change about me, and Googling the weirdest stuff. And the crazy thing about it is, I never forget. I don't know if some of you guys are my age. You don't hear my baby? She's saying, "Where, mommy?" She's knocking on the door. Hi, Posey. So I remember, I don't know if some of you got, hi, Posey. If some of y'all are my age, Posey. Baby, get her. if some of y'all are my age, then you remember like in the early 2000s where it was like the thing to be skinny. I never forget going to the doctors and he told me like for my height I had to be like, I think like 150. She keep knocking on the door. I'm coming, Posey, hold on. I had to be like 115 to like 120, and I remember struggling to get under that 125. So I would like diet and do all this crazy crash dieting and working out like super intense. And then like, hi Lila, can you let mommy record? Okay, go get the ball and give it to daddy, okay? Go give it to daddy. Go show daddy. You want to get Peppa Pig? You look, she's in your brother's swing. Bye. Love you. Alright, so what was I saying? Alright, so I remember like in early 2000 it was like this big thing to be skinny, and then like in like mid 2000s, I want to say like 2010, I could be wrong on the dates, but it became this thing to have a bigger butt. And so here's the thing, like I went from I used to gain a lot of my weight in my legs and in my thighs, and then I felt so insecure about my body, and I used to be like, oh my god, I'm so fat, and I used to spend so much time working out to try to be skinny. So in the midst of the whole switch up to thick is cute, I tried to gain some of my weight back and get a booty and get some thighs and all this stuff. But I got diagnosed with PCOS, so I switched from, which is a hormonal disorder if you guys don't know. So I switched from gaining very feminine weight to gaining very masculine weight because I had higher testosterone. And I couldn't, my body didn't go back to what it used to be. My body still isn't what it used to be. And so that goes to show like how society can pressure you. All I had to do was from the very beginning just own what it was that I had. Thicker thighs at the time, whatever it was, I just had to accept that and know that I was beautiful. Now, because of all of that, I'm very adamant with my daughter about like confidence. Like I try to instill in her very young that she needs to be confident. By the way, just make sure you're in the comment section commenting, because I want it to be, I know it's not a live video, but I'm going to read back on the comments, and I want to create this sense of community between us where we can talk about these issues. Now, with my daughter, I just try to make sure that I'm very in tune to making sure she understands how beautiful she is. And I made a post on Instagram where I said that, you know, her thick eyebrows, her curly hair, her big eyes, her full lips, her long legs are not beauty trends, which they are today. They are beauty trends, but I don't ever want her to feel that because it's not acceptable or it's no longer beautiful, whatever the new trend may be, that she's not pretty or she's not beautiful. And it's crazy because I remember we went to a party, and it was two other little girls. They were twins, and they had like loose curly hair, and I watched as my baby, I could tell she was very conscious about her hair, and she's like pulling at her curls, and I just looked and I'm like, man, I'm gonna really have to make sure that my baby knows how beautiful she is, regardless. So I'm constantly hyping my baby up, like I'm confident. I make her repeat that. I say I'm confident. Say I'm beautiful. You're pretty. You're beautiful. Lila, you have a beautiful smile, because I want her to know that regardless of what society thinks about her, she's beautiful. And in the video, I also mentioned that like I don't know, I drove my sister crazy, and I feel so bad right now because I just know that in the midst of me trying to find myself or be confident or like trying to get validation or comparing myself to her, I probably made her feel bad because she couldn't help that she had this beautiful body. Like that was nothing to be ashamed of. Everything she had was amazing. But I was the one with the issue, and I was the one with the problem. But I used to compare myself to her. I used to go out with my friends, and I would constantly like be sad because I didn't look like them. And my attempt to try to feel confident or to like myself or to get validation from her and my friends, as far as like them
complimenting me or saying, "Oh, Tay, you look cute. I like the way you dress. I like that outfit. Oh, you fit that nice. Oh, your stomach don't look big. You look cute." Like in an attempt to get all of those compliments, I was like playing the victim, and I made them feel bad. And then in turn, it was kind of like I was making them feel bad about their bodies or how they were shaped, or even just owning their own stuff and being confident. They would have to feel bad for me and look at me sobbing about the fact that I didn't like myself. I guess the lesson in all of it is to, regardless, like whatever is good or bad, whatever is the trend or not, if something's popping or not, if something's bomb or not, you love who you are and you accept it. But I wish I would have known that back then, and unfortunately I didn't, but it's cool. I feel like all of those things that I went through and I struggled through were lessons learned that I can share with y'all, because it was so difficult to break through that. And like, as I talk about this stuff, as I make these videos, as I write these blogs, all of those feelings just come back up in me again. And I remember the pain emotionally that I suffered through, and the struggle that I went through just trying to be perfect and not understanding why I couldn't look like other women, or why I couldn't be like other women. But now I want women to understand that at the end of the day, we live in a society where it's about money. Like, these beauty industries, they make money off of your insecurities. And I'm not knocking anybody who's in the beauty industry or anything, but I want young women to understand, and particularly like young girls who are going through changes and their body is changing, that people make money off of your insecurities. Like, they make money off the idea that you will forever be stuck buying makeup, you will forever be stuck buying beauty products and all these things. But this is my thing. I want young girls to be able to see, and young women to be able to see, like, don't feel like these things have to defy you. Like, don't feel like you have to buy these things to feel pretty. Let it be because you prefer to, because you want to. Like, don't be enslaved to the idea that these things make you pretty, these things make you better. No. I just look back and I remember like the hard times that I had and how difficult it was for me, and the struggles that I had, and just not even appreciating, like, for real, like, I had gifts. And I'm not saying this to be pompous, I'm not saying this to be big-headed, but I had gifts, and I was wasting my time on small things in comparison to the bigger things in life that were the most important. And so, like I said in my video, I encourage you. I know some of you guys love fashion, I know some of you guys love beauty. I know that some of y'all are on the other spectrum where you're not sure if you look good enough or pretty enough. I say this with all love and sincerity. Stop focusing on the way that you look and start building on the things that matter the most. I've been around some of the prettiest girls who have the nastiest attitudes and personalities, and it is not attractive. And I've been around some women who, according to society, aren't what's quote unquote beautiful, and they have the most amazing, like, they are so dope, they are so beautiful because they are who they are, and they're loving, and they're kind, and they're smart, and they're ambitious, and they go get it, and they are so attractive in who they are. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, as you get older, all that stuff that was, like, I look back when I was 17 at my graduation picture, I'm like, I don't even look like that anymore. Not that I don't look like that completely, but you get older, you change, and the things that you used to love about yourself so much in a physical sense, it can start to disappear. And you still need to be able to have substance and rooted in some good stuff in order to be counted as something, not even just from other people, but from yourself. Like, it's going to be the inner things that matter the most. It's going to be the substance that matter the most as you move through life. And you'll find that, especially when you're growing, and you're going through school, and you're going to work, and you're building your business, and you come in contact with people, and you face problems, and you face issues. All this, it really doesn't matter unless you have this and this that goes with it. And even aside from the outer appearance, I used to walk around and just like try to practice being sexy because I just did not know how to be confident. Like, to me, my girlfriends were sexy because they were confident, and I didn't understand that. Like, I didn't get that. Like, to me, it didn't add up. Like, how are they so confident? Like, what is it? Like, or no, how are they so sexy? And they got it. And it was because they were confident. And aside from, I'm sure they had their own insecurities, but they didn't walk around sobbing about what they didn't look like, or sobbing about you know, how their body was. And they owned it. They owned it. They owned the thighs, curvy, whether they were top heavy or whatever it was. They owned it. And I used to feel so crazy because they were like all the sexy ones and I was like the cute one. And then we got pictures where all my girlfriends, they're posing and they're just naturally, like, I guess, feminine. And for me, I'm more like, my personality is more like, I'm very free and laid back, and I'm very much like, I don't know the words to put in it, but I was always in the pictures like, and I'm trying to be sexy and I'm trying to lean in and I'm trying to do all these things, but it always ended up like the cute girl smile. And you know, but I look in those pictures and I realize, especially looking at how I am now, that girl was so decent. But I say that with like all in humility, but in where I'm at now with having confidence, that like I was so decent and I couldn't even see it. Like I cared about the things that mattered. My mind and heart were always in the right place. I wasn't perfect, but I cared. And in my book, 4 Ways to Live a Clean Life, I made mention how like I did and said some really mean, just really rude things about people because I didn't love myself. And I'm gonna tell y'all this: when you are worried about you, when you are pushing for you, you are, one, not in competition with anybody else. Like it doesn't matter what other people are doing. You're worried about you. And 2, you're in such a positive mindset because you're constantly growing and developing that you don't have time to be worrying about what the next girl is doing or how she's moving or competing with her and how can I get where she's going. I made a post today on my Instagram and I said, girl, open your eyes because you're so decent and you don't even know it. And I write that stuff from my heart. I write it from personal experience. Here's my thing. As I said in my video and my visual, there's nothing wrong with loving fashion and beauty and kind of being into yourself. But start getting into the root of who you are. Start loving yourself regardless. Don't get to the point in life where you need these things to be able to feel worthy or to be happy or to feel beautiful. Love yourself as the masterpiece you were created to be. We all have gifts. Use that gift. Use it as extensively as you can to affect the world and to change lives and to make a difference. Alright guys, that's the end of the video from me. Again, make sure to comment below. I want this to be a very positive community where young girls and young women can come and feel a sense of sisterhood, and regardless of the negative Nancy's we might get every now and then, it's cool because people will know that this is where you come to get love and to receive support and to know that you are not alone. So remember, my motto is, it's all about balance and progression, not perfection. Tell them, ladies, be good, be well, be you, and so much love from me to you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.